So how'd you feel when you got the word?
Elated would be putting it mildly. Uh, I tell you, it's uh, it's a privilege. It's an honor to be elected to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. You know, it's I would dedicate it all to my former teammates. I had some good guys that I played along with, and pretty much all I had to do was hand the ball off or pitch it. Now this is an awesome feeling.
Are you accepting the award with your left hand or your right hand?
I don't know. I am ambidextrous, but I'm a dominant lefty. So it depends on what Coach Mack wants me to do. He's still my coach.
What's the best moment you can remember from your time?
Wow. I had a lot of great moments. A lot of victories, a lot of big time games, playing against big time opponents. I would probably say, even though I didn't get an opportunity to finish, I would say our national championship game, the year we won it in '90. I would say that would probably be just the feeling of elation, knowing that we were number one, and being able to enjoy that moment with all my teammates, even though I was injured. That was awesome.
Is there a particular moment or play from your career that fans like to relive most with you?
Yeah, just this past Saturday, as I was leaving the field, it was a gentleman came up to me with his son, and he says, "I can remember just like it was yesterday. He was on the east side. We were playing against Nebraska, and you pitched the ball to J.J. Flanagan, and he ran 40 yards for a touchdown, and he goes." No, I tell him, I said it was against Nebraska, not against Oklahoma. He said Oklahoma. I just mixed up the two names. But yeah, that's the story I get a lot. A lot of guys, remembering the pitch against Nebraska. Um, my favorite play, and no one ever talks about it, would be 1990 Pigskin Classic against Tennessee. I remember this one like it was yesterday. We were on the right hash, and they ran a corner blitz from the boundary, and their guys shot inside of our offensive lineman. I got hit, and as I was going down, I switched the ball from my right hand to my left hand and pitched it to the wide side to Mike Pritchard. He went 80 yards for a touchdown. That was my favorite play.
When you took that phone call that said you were elected in, what was your first reaction, and who did you tell first after you found out?
I haven't told anyone, not yet. I got the phone call. It's pretty exciting. Didn't know what to feel. Didn't know if I was getting played, a joke on or what. But actually, I got the call from a good friend, Dave Platty. He called me and he said, "What are you doing?" He was whispering because he didn't want anybody here to hear, I guess. And I said I was just upstairs up in the varsity room, and he told me to get over here. And I'm like, okay, what I need to get over there for? And he says, you didn't get the phone call yet? I said, no. What phone call? And he told me I was elected to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. I said, I'll be over there in 15 minutes.
Has the magnitude of the announcement sunk in yet, or is it still kind of, you're still floating on cloud nine right now?
I'm still floating on cloud nine. This is something that you know every kid, every person wants to accomplish that plays sports. You want to be, recognized for the things that you accomplished. It's not something that I, thought would ever, come to fruition, but it did, and I'm amazed, but when you play with great guys and you do some things that people get excited about, and things happen for you, and I'm overwhelmed by this announcement.
Since some of the names you're going in with, do you look at those names and do you have memories of them at the same time maybe when you were growing up playing that maybe took you back to them playing at the same time?
Actually, I don't know who I'm going in with. Who am I going in with?
Todd
Todd Helton, yeah, I know Todd Helton. Oh yeah, I did know about Frosty. I'm sorry, I never, was privileged to have met him, but all those guys, along going in along with them, it's a privilege, especially with a guy like Todd Helton, 17-year career, playing baseball, was a former quarterback at Tennessee. Probably would have been known as one of the best at Tennessee hadn't Peyton Manning come along. But it's a privilege to be, going in with those guys, and I'm extremely honored. I'm humbled. You know, a lot of people ask me why did I choose the University of Colorado, and University of Colorado is a special place for me. Always has, always will be. And if I was 18 years old again and had to do it all over, I would do it all over again. Coach McCartney said it best last weekend. And he said that the University of Colorado, the city of Boulder, it's the pinnacle of college football, and I believe that. And we'll get back where we need to be too. I believe that. I tell you what, I work with some amazing people in our marketing department. Matt Biggers and Prima Kana. They asked me to do it. Would I be willing to throw a pass, touchdown pass to a fan? First, I was like, no, I don't want to throw a pass because these footballs are totally different than what I played with, and they're a little slick, and I didn't want to be embarrassed out there. So I said, yeah, I'll do it, but I want to pitch it. I want to run an option. So the guy said he wanted to run a curl route. I said, well, I can still do that. I can do a curl route. So I picked my special football that I liked out there and threw the ball to the guy. I didn't realize how hard I threw it though. The guys told me you tried to break this guy's fingers. I'm like, I just didn't want to embarrass myself, so I wanted to make sure he caught it. And the only way to make sure he caught it was to give it a little oomph behind it and hit him right in the gut. And hey, both of us looked good.
You represent kind of glorious Colorado football, and you're obviously a proud alum. How much has it hurt you to watch the program go through this kind of slide these last 7 years?
It's hurt a lot, considering that, when I was playing, along with my teammates, we were just up and coming. We were turning the corner. Coach McCartney didn't have a lot of success his first couple of years. We turned the corner once we put the pieces together that he needed for his offense and defense. We put the pieces together and we started rolling, and we rolled along for a good 10, 12 years, and then all of a sudden that big word came around. That word is cyclical, and everything switched back, and we had some down years, and from a lot of alums who are proud of their program, and it's overwhelming at times to see the kids go through it, because you want every kid to experience the same experience that you experienced at the university. But like I said, everything is cyclical. You got a new coach, Mac, that's here, and he's doing some good things. He's going to get this place back rocking, and I hope it's sooner than later.
Being removed from the game, what's the new perspective that maybe you share with the guys who are playing right now?
Being removed from the game, in my role, I try to share wisdom with them, and the wisdom I try to share with them is that you have to take everything that is given to you. You have to take it with pride. You have to take it with pride because it's not promised to you, and it's an honor and a privilege to be out there and doing the things you do, and having someone pay for your athletic scholarship. Yeah, you do have to go out and perform and all that. But someone is actually footing the bill for you. You have to be appreciative. You have to, earn your stripes, so to speak. That's what I usually try to tell the guys. But at the same time, I watch these spread teams come in and they run these, spread option football and all that, and I just laugh because 20 years ago I was doing the same thing, but the only thing I was under center, and I was getting hit quicker. Where these guys, they have a little bit of an advantage, because they're in the pistol or in the shotgun. They're 5 yards away from the defense, and they're able to make decisions a little bit longer. They're able to decide on what they need to do to attack the defenses and stuff like that. Where when I played, it was a split-second decision. You know, if you made the wrong decision, you would get hit in the mouth. If you made the right decision, you get hit in the mouth.
Do you feel like you thrived under that, or would you have more success now?
Well, if you would talk to Coach Gary Barnett, I used to always tell him, Coach, let's run the option out of the shotgun. He was like, son, you can't do that. And now Coach Barnett has been proven wrong. But no, I did. I used to always want to, run out of the gun because I thought at the time it would give me a guy, barely 5'11". It would give me time to look over the defense and see from the gun, trying to throw the ball. And you guys didn't catch that. I said I was 5'11". I think I could. I think I could be a quarterback in this day and age. Only thing different than guys like Johnny Manziel, myself, is that he's in the shotgun. I ran around. I did things just like that. I'm glad I'm not as controversial as he is, but at the same time, he's a dynamic player, and when I look at him, I just smile because I remember those days.
Do you like the way the game has changed?
I do. I like the way the game has changed, only because I was a fan of running football teams, playing in a cloud of dust and just getting after each other. It's a little bit different now, but it's still the same principles. They're running an option. They're fooling people out. You have to have dynamic people in space to be good at those with these offenses. So I really love watching it.
Darian, what would you like for your legacy to be here at CU? What would you like to be remembered for?
My smile. That's it. I don't want to be remembered for anything other than I was a good guy. I did things the right way. I was a good teammate. But the most proudest moment of my life was getting my degree at the University of Colorado. My upbringing and my passion is two things that are totally different. When I played the game of football, I was really I wasn't as intense as Eric Bieniemy, but I was an intense player out there. But at the same time, I was and still remain humble. And that was my upbringing. My family. We didn't have a lot to give, but we had a lot to give of ourselves, and that's what I try to do. I try to give to people, and I've never been known as a taker other than when it's some free Nike gear.
Speaking of which, Darren, what's your philosophy on this growing wave of thought of players getting paid bigger stipends, not just stipends, but big time money from television? Do you think they should get it, or do you think the degree's enough?
In my opinion, I think that what they have in place now is sufficient. I don't think that necessarily you have to pay guys to appreciate what they have, or do you have to pay guys for them to come to work and do what they're supposed to do. As being a student athlete, at the same time, there's argument out there that kids should get paid to play. I guess I would say if they're going to pay guys something or anything, I would give them a debit card where they can go and be able to, buy, toiletries and supplies and stuff to wash their clothes and to have everyday living. I don't think that they need to have anything extra for as, going to the movie or taking your girlfriend out, anything like that. But
I understand that a lot of players and there's one movement says that this is $1 billion industry, you guys aren't getting anything. What's your thought on that? Is there fairness in that?
well, I think it's fair that they're allowed to play football and they're allowed to get a scholarship and someone is footing the bill. But I don't think just because someone is doing those things for you, at the same time, they should fatten up your pocket. Fatten your pocket. I don't think they should do that. I don't think that's what college football is all about. At the professional level, once you have your degree and things of that nature, then yes, you're in a working environment. Right now, I don't think they're in a working environment. They're student athletes that are, allowed to go to school and be young adults.
How do you think your collegiate career would have changed had you gotten paid?
I think I would have been the same person, same humble guy, but I think it depends. It depends on what you're saying, how you're getting paid. Some people get paid illegally. Some people, get a Pell Grant. I was the kid that was fortunate enough to get a Pell Grant, and that Pell Grant was enough for me. Fortunately, the University of Colorado, we didn't have boosters around here that were doing things illegally. Our head coach, who was on top of all those things, wouldn't allow that type of stuff. So my career played out just like it was supposed to.
Just out of curiosity, not naming names, when you were playing back in the late '80s, how much cheating did you hear was going on at other schools?
Right.
Was it pretty heavy?
It wasn't as heavy as it was prior to me coming to the university or coming into the college football scene. But, I do have some friends that would acknowledge some stuff. But I never was, jealous of them or anything like that, because I believed in our coach, his philosophy, and my upbringing. I'm not a type of guy that, wanted a handout. I was looking for a handout. I just wanted to go out there and play football.
What do you see in Coach McIntyre?
Coach McIntyre is awesome. I believe in his principles. I believe in his philosophy. Our kids have really, really bought into Coach Mac. The things that he talk about, our foundation is pretty much what we lay our hat on. Family is what everyone is looking for. Football is what we do. So I really believe in everything he says. Coach Mac, my Coach Mac, he's always said you can take it to the bank. I think with this guy, give him a little bit of time, get some more firepower in here. This program is gonna be awesome. I think he's the right person at the right time for the job, and I'm not just saying that because I work for him now. If I was just an alum sitting in the stands watching them on Saturday, I would say the same thing, because I really just watching how these guys compete, watching how these guys come to work, it's awesome. And it's fitting that it's happening all over again right before me on a daily basis, because I've seen it before, and I'm lucky that I get to see it again. I'm just behind the scenes now. Absolutely, absolutely. He's a really religious guy, just like my coach Mac was. He's fair, just like my coach Mac was. He believes in the kids. He's all about family. As a 18-year-old leaving, Southern California, I visited 5 universities, and out of the 5 universities, the University of Colorado was the only place where I experienced family, and that's what I was looking for, and that's probably why I'm still here today.
Darren, is the city of Boulder and this campus a better place for African American athletes than it was when you arrived in the late '80s? Have they changed?
I think it's changed a little bit. I think it's changed for the better. I don't hear a lot of kids stressing, making a point that the University of Colorado is not as welcome as it was, or welcome as it should be. Those guys talk about how it is welcoming, and our guys do struggle. When they get to Colorado, they struggle with the environment, they struggle with campus. But I think that's just with them getting out of their comfort zone and understanding that you cannot be the same. You cannot remain the same in order for you to fit into an ideal place. You chose a place like the University of Colorado. You have to take it amongst yourself to open up your heart, open up your feelings, and be vulnerable to change. And if you're not going to be vulnerable to change, then you're going to always experience the same stuff. And 99% of our guys, African American kids who come from inner cities, they're used to a certain way of life, and when you come to a place where you're now the minority, you have to change. You have to be willing to change, and that's my role. And our guys are starting to, understand it. Guys are starting to figure it out. So, 20 years ago, when I was looking at this place, most people say when you pick a university as a student athlete, can you live there for 4 to 5 years while you're attending school? My philosophy is, can you live there 20 years later? If you can live there, during 4 or 5 years, you can live there 20 years. And if you look at it from that way, then you're looking at it from a kid to a man. So I think they're starting to get it.
Here's one for you. I don't know how many people remember, but you're probably still the only starting quarterback who doubled as the team's first team punt returner back your senior year. What was the thought process of that, and did that help you get into pro football?
Yes. The funny thing is, I went to Coach McCartney, and his thinking was, in order for me to have an opportunity to play at the next level, I had to show some versatility and not just, running an option and pitching the ball. He wanted to show that I could be a returner. Excuse me. So he gave me an opportunity to field punts. I wind up, being a starter, and I think that allowed me to have an opportunity to play at the next level. Excuse me. Yeah, you got me pretty good.
Wyoming, didn't you? Didn't you just get tripped up against Wyoming?
Yeah, first punt against Wyoming my senior year. We were playing against them here. Sean Fleming was their punter, who wound up having to be my excuse me. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Thanks. Now I'm ready. But Sean Fleming, who was their punter, and Sean and I wound up being teammates in Canada. But he was their punter, and I caught the punt, probably about a 42-yarder, and Sean tackled me about a 3-yard line. We joked about that the whole time I was playing in Canada. Then the next week we played here against Baylor. Same thing, caught a punt. He got tripped up at about the 50-yard line. But I tell you what, Coach Mack, really put himself out there and put everything out on the line. You have your senior quarterback who you won some games with. You're giving him an opportunity to pretty much showcase himself. And at the same time, if he goes down, everyone behind him were all freshmen, because Charles Johnson had decided to give up his senior year. So that was a lot to give, but it just showed that he had a lot of faith in me, and it was awesome. Coach Mack, he was an awesome guy, still is an awesome guy. I'm gonna tell this one story that I've said plenty of times, but when he came to my house, he recruited me. He said, if a guy that's recruiting you or a man can't look you in your eyes, he's not telling you the truth. He can't be truthful. And then he went on to tell my mom, my aunt, and my grandma, because he seen that we were getting a sprinkler system put in the yard, and he said that if Darian was to walk out of here right now and stepped in the hole and broke his ankle, the University of Colorado would honor his scholarship for the next 4 to 5 years, even though he could never play again. And that right there set him apart from everyone else. No one else made any promises to me or my family other than they would give me an opportunity to play football. But what Coach Mack did, he went above and beyond. So that stood out. And then he knew that I grew up in a Crip-infested neighborhood, and that if I went to Nebraska, every time I came back home wearing red, I would get in trouble. So, so he put that out there. So my family was like, "We know where you're going."
Unless you want to relive showing up here with Jerry curls.
Right.
That picture somehow disappeared from his file through the years. Just like Eric LaSalle.
That's because you gave it out so much.
Anything else for Darian? Congrats, Darian.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it. Ladies.